Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keegan, and welcome back to the Supercoach Diaries and to an all-important round one episode. So, as you can see on my screen is my team. Now, I'm going to jump in before. There are a few weird picks, I know, and I've got my reasons, and you can listen to my reasons. You can decide if I've gone with it for the right reason or the wrong reason. But anyway, this is the team I am looking at. Now, round one isn't for another two. The first round game of Richmond and Carlton isn't for another 2 days. So this team might change completely between now and then. But at the moment, this is what I'm looking at. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with the rookies. There's a couple of rookies, especially the forward line, I'm really not sure about. But what's on the screen is what I'm thinking of going with. And I'm going to talk you through my picks. I'm going to talk you through some of the rookies that I've picked. And let me know in the comments below if you think I've made those correct choices. Before we get underway, make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of the Supercoach videos on this channel. And without any ado, let's get into it. Starting from my backline, we have got Hibberd, McGovern, Lloyd, Sicily, Norton, Murray on the field. I'll talk about the rookies on the bench in a bit. But on the field, we've got Hibberd, premium midfielder, was really good last year. Can see him doing more of the same this year. It was between sort of Hibberd and Laird, and I've decided to go with Hibberd. Though saying that, it probably should be important to tell you, I've got $24,000 left, so it's probably not enough to upgrade one of these players. But if I was thinking about switching a few people around, Hibberd to Laird could be a switch I could make. But at the moment, I'm sticking with Hibberd. We got McGovern, who was pretty solid last year. A lot of intercept marks. They usually score pretty well. And hopefully more of the same from him this year, especially with West Coast maybe not being so great. McGovern will spend a lot of time on the near the ball. Lloyd, who was sort of a bit of a sleeper pick last year. I got on him very late, if I remember. I think I got on him very late. When he'd already peaked, unfortunately. But he was a good player, and I think hopefully he can do more of the same this year. Sicily is one that a lot of people have jumped on early, and I'm jumping on too. He's a defensive forward. He's only 400k, and through the JLT, he looked pretty good. And for 400,000, he could be one that could make that step up and could jump up in price. I'm pretty happy with him at the moment. At that price, I'm definitely happy with him. Someone like a Pierce Hanley, someone that was sort of around that price tag, was another person I was looking at. But because he dislocated his shoulder and's out for the first couple of rounds of the season, I'm gone with Sicily, so I'm pretty happy with him. Now we get into the rookies. Norton has been pretty much confirmed as a confirmed starter for the Western Bulldogs, so he's into the team. He's a mature recruit, played in the Waffle last year, so actually, I don't know if he's a mature recruit, but he did play in the Waffle last year from what I read. So that would mean that with the way the Bulldogs' defence is going at the moment, because they do have a lot of injuries down back, that he's definitely going to get a start. And he's probably going to keep his position at least for a couple of weeks. We got Murray, who's been confirmed by Buckley as someone that is going to play. He had some absolutely electric form in the JLT, so hopefully that means that he's in there for a couple of weeks. Doty and Finlayson on the bench. Again, two players that will probably play, so they'll probably get a few decent scores in there. Not much more to say really about my defence. As I said, Hanley's one that I thought about putting in because he's injured for the first couple of weeks. I didn't really bother. Hibberd to maybe Laird or something was another person I was sort of looking at. But other than that, and Cade Simpson was another one because of no Doherty. He might get a bit more of the ball, but I've gone with this. I'm pretty happy with it. So here is midfield. Now, the first thing you're going to see is no Dangerfield playing. Now, I could have gone with him, and I still think I might. He's out round one, and a lot of people have decided to pick him and sort of just sit him out for round one, and it's not going to matter. I'm not picking him because he's so expensive. He is so expensive. He is Gary Ablett levels of expensive. And if I think back, like the last sort of 2 seasons, Gary hasn't been an automatic selection for me, especially 2 seasons ago when he was top dollar. And I didn't pick him then. And not picking Dangerfield, it's a bit of a risk, but I've decided to go with my gut, and I'm not going to pick him. He's not going to play this week, probably. He'll come back next week, and we'll see what happens. He's going to be playing forward probably more often. but that doesn't mean he's going to get a lot of the ball playing forward. Geelong aren't as great as people. I don't rate Geelong this year. I think they're actually going to miss finals, and that's my personal opinion. But because of that, I don't think if Dangerfield's playing forward a lot more, I don't think the ball's going to get down to him a lot. Now, that obviously means if the ball's not getting down to him, they're just going to put Dangerfield back in the midfield. But I'm just not 100% sure I'm sold on Dangerfield this season. So I haven't put him in. Of course, I do keep the right to put him in at some point, or put him in before the season starts if I change my mind. But at the moment, I don't have him in. But without talking about him, let's talk about the people who I do have in my team. Martin, Brownlow medalist, still reasonably priced, I thought, for him, so he's definitely in. Mitchell's a gun, just has his own ball at times, and to be fair, I don't think Collingwood will bother tagging him. I think, from memory, they didn't bother tagging him last season, so I don't think they'll tag him this season, and he'll just have his own ball, and he'll get 130 odd points, and he'll be great. Fife is back to form, which is great to see. If in form, Fife's probably priced around where Martin is, but because he had those injury issues last year, he's a bit further, he's starting a bit lower down on the chain, which makes him a lot more affordable, and definitely someone I wanted to look at. Cripps is a premium in the making, really. He's ready to take that next level. Again, another person that was sort of injured last year. He's really going to look solid, injury-free, into that Carlton midfield. I reckon he's definitely a player that I'm happy to have in my team at 537,000. And here's sort of my first, and you'll probably see if you look down my team, there's a couple of interesting picks. One of them is Luke Shuey. Now, the reason I've gone with Luke Shuey is, one, no Mitchell, two, no Pritis. So there's two premium midfielders out of that West Coast team. And that means the midfield ball at West Coast has to go through someone, and Shuey is the next best midfielder in there. So I reckon a lot more of the ball is going to go through him this year. Will it transfer to Supercoach points? Who knows? He does love getting a free kick, so he'll get a few free kicks a game. So that means a few more kicks, a few more handballs, a few frees for. So I reckon Shuey's in for a pretty good year. I hope he's there at the end of the season. He's in the top 8 midfielders in the competition, because I would have picked wisely. But I'm getting on him at 529. It's an interesting choice. I don't know if it'll pay off at the end, but I'm pretty happy with that selection, I must say. We'll see how it goes. And then I've actually got 3 rookies on the field and 3 rookies on the bench. So Robbie Fox, he's probably the mid-pricer there, 232,000. He's probably going to play every game for Sydney. He's there for job security. I did actually have Armitage in there, who's about 80,000 more expensive than Robbie Fox, but I've gone Robbie Fox because I'm just pretty happy with that. We'll wait and see. He's going to make a bit of money. Then I'll trade him on to probably downgrade him to upgrade someone else. Brayshaw, probably going to play as many games for Freo as that he can possibly get out of him, so he's a pretty safe pick. He's a more expensive rookie, and Brodie is the same for the Suns. He's a more expensive rookie, but with the way Stewie Dew, being a Gold Coast supporter, I sort of know it a bit more. The way Stewie Dew is going to be playing this year, it's going to be a lot more contested and a lot more tackling orientated, which means Brodie is going to be getting a lot of tackles. He's going to be getting a lot of in and under that pack, and I reckon that he's going to be one that's going to score pretty well. On the bench, I've got Bailey Banfield, Kelly, and I've got Nick Holman. All 3 players should play. Kelly looked really good in JLT. Holman looked pretty good for the Suns. His disposal's pretty average, but he does tackle, which is what Stuart Dew wants. He wants to play he wants to play a contested style. He wants to try and emulate what Sydney does. So he'll definitely be tackling. Whether he gets picked this week, it's up in the air. But because it's up in Cairns, I reckon he'll get picked, and he will impress. The rucks, I've decided to pick them and leave them. So I've got Ryder, I've got Gawn. The early buy for Port's a bit annoying with Ryder, but I might just ride that one out. Ignore the pun. And Gawn, 2 really good rucks. I'm just going to pick them and leave them. I'm not going to worry about upgrading or downgrading them. They're going to score big, hopefully. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I've got Alanjo on the bench because if I'm going to just keep these rucks, I'm not too worried about scoring off the bench. If I was to pick someone that could score off the bench, it'd be someone like a Darcy Cameron for Sydney. But I think Sydney might just persevere with Sinclair. I don't think they're going to bother with Darcy Cameron. He wasn't very impressive in the JLT, so I don't see why they bother. They've got Sinclair. They can play Lear, or I think they're even playing Towers in the ruck just as a backup, just to give him a bit of a chop out. I can't see Cameron playing, so I've gone, why not just pick the cheapest rookie and then use that money somewhere else? That's where that 24k has come in, so I can change. It gives me a bit of freedom to change other rookies around if I need to. Into the forward line, where the forward line's an absolute mess this year, let's be honest. The rookies in the forward line are poor, to say the least. I've got Heaney and Billings. A lot of people probably have Heaney and Billings. I was thinking about even picking Buddy, because Buddy usually goes off, and he's got West Coast up round 1 against a pretty, in my opinion, poor West Coast. So Buddy might go off, but I've got Heaney and Billings. Billings is going to be hopefully take that step up this year for St Kilda, and he'll become their premium midfielder, meaning midfield scores in the forward line, which is what I want to see. Now, the second interesting pick for my team that not a lot of people probably have is I've got Jack Martin. Now, the reason I've got Jack Martin is because, one, I'm a bit of a Suns diehard, and I believe in Jack Martin. I don't know if anyone else believes him, but I believe in him. He's going to be playing a lot more midfield this season. It's been said by Jew over the course that he's looking to put Jack Martin into the midfield. And Jack Martin in the midfield is going to be absolutely amazing. He only needs 20 touches, 15 to 20 touches, because his disposal efficiency is amazing. His accuracy is amazing. And if he can top it off with a couple of goals, he'll be getting 90s, around 100 every week. Will he do that? Will it go to plan? Who knows? But I'm banking on Jack Martin. It was either Jack Martin or Jack Watts. And the way Jack Watts... I just don't see Jack Watts being an amazing player. I needed a mid-price forward. I've already got Petrarca, as you can see. He's my next forward that I've picked up. So I've gone Martin. It is a massive risk to pick Jack Martin, and I completely understand. But I reckon he's the silk outside that we have. We've got the Suns have basically built up on Swallow, Barlow. We've got Brody in the middle. You've got Jared Lyons. There's a whole bunch of just possession getters in the midfield. There's a bit of aggression, a bit of hardness in the midfield for the Suns. They need that outside silk in the midfield, and that's where Jack Martin's going to come in my opinion. Now, it might not go right, but that is a risk I'm willing to take. Talked about Petrarca. Everyone has him. Looking to take the next step this year. He's probably going to play more forward than midfield, but I reckon he'll play pretty well. Yeah, pretty much that. Keith, and so this is where it gets a bit tricky. Keith and Ryan should probably play, so that's why they're on the field. Ryan played pretty well for West Coast. He won't be scoring hundreds as a rookie. He's not that type of player. He'll score 50 and 60s, and he'll make us a bit of money, and then we'll downgrade him and move him on. Keith is probably going to be in the defensive structure for GWS. Usually I don't like playing defensive players in the forward line, but because the forward line's such a mess, I've had to put him there. I could change him out for a Venables or something, not sure. I'm happy with Keith there at the moment. Garlett I've had, and I'm going to stick with him. It says he's injured there, but if he gets picked for Carlton on tomorrow, or today, if you're watching this in Australia, tomorrow, because I'm a day behind in England, I'll keep him in, but I'm not sure about him. But there's no forward rookies to pick from, and Fritsch is the other one who has had a pretty good JLT. So hopefully Melbourne pick him, for my sake at least. Hopefully Melbourne pick him. Otherwise, the forward rookies are an absolute mess, and if you're playing Supercoach, you completely understand that as well. Well, guys, that's my team. There's a few interesting picks in there. Jack Martin, Luke Shuey really stand out to me as two really left field picks, but you need one or two, and you need to hope they come off to sort of hope that you improve. So that's who I'm going with. Let me know in the comments below if there's anyone that I'm completely missing out, or anyone that you think that I've picked that I probably shouldn't have picked, and maybe recommend a suggestion. If you want me to take someone out, that is absolutely fine. But then also recommend me a replacement too. It's all well and good to say, this player's garbage, da 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 da. Then tell me, who do I take that player out for, and who do I replace him with? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Supercoach Diaries. I look forward to reading your comments below. Good luck with Supercoach for the upcoming season. Unless, of course, you're against me, then I hope you fall over. But that's the way it is. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.